Okay, when you think about booking travel online, there's one name that's just an absolute titan, right? Booking.com. They're a total powerhouse. But here's the thing about the online travel world. It's insanely competitive. Even the biggest of the big are always hunting for that next wave of growth. So, let's dive right in because we're about to pull back the curtain on a hidden, multi-million-dollar strategy that's buried deep inside their digital footprint. And really, that's the central question here, isn't it? For a company like Booking.com, this isn't about survival, not at all. It's about finding significant, new growth when it feels like you're already, well, everywhere. I mean, where do you even begin to look? So just to put this into perspective, to really get the scale we're talking about, look at this number, 5.3 million. Get this, that's how many organic visitors they get every single month, and that's just in the US. It's a staggering amount of traffic, no doubt, a real testament to their success. But, and this is the key, as we're about to see, even inside that massive number, there is a huge, untapped opportunity just waiting. All right, so let's dig into that challenge. When you're at the top, the real puzzle isn't just about holding your ground. It's about finding those new paths for growth that can actually move the needle for a business this massive. We're talking about $1 billion company here. And let's be super clear. They're starting from a place of incredible strength. I mean, a domain rating of 93? That's almost unheard of. It basically means Google looks at them as one of the most authoritative, most trustworthy sites on the entire web. That authority, it's like having a superpower. But as we're about to find out, they're not using it to its full potential. Okay, so now it's time to play detective a little bit. Let's diagnose their digital footprint, because even the strongest looking foundations can have these tiny hidden cracks, right? And a deep dive into their SEO, well, it reveals some really fascinating strategic gaps that, if they just fix them, could unlock some serious value. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. This breaks down their traffic into two big buckets. Over on the left, you've got branded search. This is simple. It's people who are literally typing Booking.com into Google. That's about 3.3 million visitors a month. That's their fortress, built on years and years of marketing. But now, look to the right. Non-branded search. This is people searching for stuff like hotels in Boston, and that brings in another 2 million visitors. This is the untapped gold mine. These are all the people who know they need a hotel, but they haven't decided who to book with yet. That's the real opportunity. But there's a major technical problem that's holding them back from really grabbing that gold mine. It's a thing called index bloat. Okay, imagine that superpower we talked about. Their website's authority is a giant, powerful spotlight. Now, index bloat is what happens when you have millions of kind of useless pages. Think of every single obscure filter combination on their site, and you're trying to shine that one powerful spotlight on all of them at once. What happens? The beam gets weak, right? It dilutes the power, and it makes it way harder for Google to find the pages that actually matter. It's a huge waste of their authority. So, okay, we've identified the problem, right? The index bloat. Now for the good part, the solution. This whole analysis uncovered 3 key growth levers. Think of it like a treasure map, a strategic map to go find that hidden gold. And here it is, the 3-part growth strategy. First, they need to master those niche, non-branded searches. We're not just talking hotels in New York, but stuff like pet-friendly hotels near Central Park, super specific. Second, they've got to fix those technical leaks. That means curing the index bloat by basically telling Google, hey, ignore these millions of useless pages and focus all your power on these important ones, the ones that actually drive bookings. And third, they need to get ahead of the game and start winning with AI answers. That means creating these really helpful guides that are perfectly designed for new AI search engines to just pick up and use. And here's the kicker. They're not even starting from zero on this. Not even close. They already have a pretty big head start in Google's new AI overviews. We're talking over 7,800 citations already. So the strategy isn't about building some brand new thing. It's about taking an advantage they already have and just sharpening it, making it work for them. All right, now for the part everybody's waiting for, right? The money. How does all this technical SEO stuff actually turn into cold, hard cash? Let's break down the multi-million-dollar math. To make this super tangible, we're going to zoom in on just one single high-value keyword, hotels in New York. This is one of the most competitive and most valuable travel searches probably on the entire planet. So right now, as things stand, they rank number 5 for that search term. And the estimated monthly value from that position is about $3,400. It's a respectable number for sure. But here's the big what if. What if they actually did this stuff? What if they fixed the index bloat, focused all that superpower authority, and jumped from rank number 5 all the way up to the number 1 spot? Well, the potential monthly value absolutely explodes to over $20,000. That's an increase of almost 17 grand every single month. And that's from just one keyword. That right there is the power of smart, surgical SEO. And look, this isn't some one-off magic trick that only works for New York. The same exact logic applies across the board. You do this for hotels in Miami Beach, that's another $3,600 a month in potential upside. You do it for hotels in Los Angeles, that's another $4,200. You apply this across thousands of keywords, and when you start adding it all up, the numbers just get, well, they get massive. Okay, so the potential is obviously huge. It's crystal clear. But the question is, how do you actually make it happen? So let's walk through the final piece of the puzzle, a practical, step-by-step action plan to turn this whole strategy into reality. A realistic roadmap would probably look something like this. For the first 3 months, you're all about the tactical fixes. You're deep in the weeds, curing that index bloat, running a speed sprint to make your most important pages faster. Then, from months 3 to 6, you shift into growth mode. You're launching those new AI-friendly guides, you're publishing cool data assets to get links from the media. And then finally, the last 6 months are all about scale, building big partnerships with tourism boards and running experiments on your busiest pages to get more people to book. And when you boil it all down, it really comes down to this one core idea. For a giant like Booking.com, the next big win isn't going to come from just pumping out more and more content. It's about discipline. It's about taking that immense power they have and focusing it with surgical precision only on the pages that matter most. And that really leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? This whole framework, looking for wasted authority, finding those untapped user needs, plugging technical leaks, this doesn't just apply to Booking.com. It applies to pretty much every major player online. So it makes you wonder, what hidden treasures are just waiting to be found in the digital giants that you follow?